Yeah. Hi everyone. So greetings of the day. For the people who are joining from other countries as well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all. Uh, Hope I'm audible. Can you just confirm anyone? Okay, let's move on then. So yes, welcome to Slack Community Hyderabad. So Hyderabad is a very beautiful city in India. Those who don't know about Hyderabad. So this is the event about the topic, the future of work, how Slack is redefining the productivity. I am Prashant Pandey, your host and the chapter lead for Slack Community Hyderabad. I would like to start by thanking everyone for joining us today. We are excited to have you here to learn more about how Slack is helping teams work better together. um, we have very good response on our this event, so I think like people are actually liking the topic. And also we have very amazing speaker with us, Ruman Khan. He will be very shortly, he will be joining the stage. Before that, so as you know, the way we work is now changing rapidly. The rise of remote work, the increasing use of the technology, and the changing needs of our customers are all driving this change. In this new world of work, productivity is more than ever. Teams need to be able to collaborate effectively, communicate quickly, and share information seamlessly. So here comes the Slack. Slack is a tool that can help us to adapt to these changes and be productive in the new world of work. So Slack provides a single place for teams to communicate, collaborate, and share information. It's a very powerful tool that can help us to work more efficiently, stay organized, and stay connected with our colleagues. So this was a bit about Slack. Those who don't know about this. So with this, we are moving forward, and I'm excited to have Ruman Khan with us today to talk more about how Slack is redefining productivity. And Ruman will also share about Slack's latest updates and the future plans of Slack's game-changing platform. Ruman Khan is a growth team member, so he joined us. Let me just add him to the stage. Yes, so Ruman is here with us. So Roman is a growth team member, business development at Slack India, and he has a wealth of experience in cloud telephony and voice AI space. So before I hand over to Roman, I want to also mention one thing, that we are also giving away swags to three participants today. Uh, but for that, you have to use hashtag Slack Hyderabad and promote this event, this ongoing event and post event on Twitter and LinkedIn. So, welcome, Roman. The stage is all yours. Can you please start with your a little bit introduction? What I missed about your hobbies, about your interests, so the people can understand you more personally.
Yeah, definitely, Prashant. And thank you so much for having me here. Am I audible right now to everyone?
Yeah, yes, you're audible.
Um, okay, so I think you have given my introduction regarding my career, right? So again, I'm a mechanical engineer by degree, but I've been in the startup space ever since my graduation. Like I said, I started my career in this company called Exotel, which was into the cloud telephony space, and then moved on to voice AI, more or less again in the same sector, but rather a more advanced product, right? And after that, had this amazing opportunity to join Slack. We had this new go-to-market team that we were building out of India, and our country leader Rahul was kind of setting up the team. So, I'm grateful for the opportunity to be a part of this team. Apart from this, apart from the career, I think some of the hobbies that I'm really into is football and cooking. Cooking, I really love. Getting myself, you know, cooking some Italian dishes out there. And in terms of my other hobbies, I really love football. So that's one sport that I usually indulge in. And I'm also a big supporter of United. I know we are on the brink of the season right now, but it's been a really hard journey for the past 10 years. So yeah, that's a bit short intro about me. Prashant, if you're good to go, we can start.
Yeah, sure. The stage
Yeah,
is all
and
yours.
by the way, congrats on completing 1 year at your company. I just saw your post on LinkedIn.
Yeah, thank you so
Congrats
much.
on that. Okay, and I'm kind of jealous that some of you all gonna win Slack swags. That's something that we don't usually get. But yeah, really excited. Please go out there, promote. We'll look forward to giving those swags away.
Yes.
Uh, One second, let me bring. You see my screen now?
Yes, Rohan.
One second, it's loading. All good, right? Okay. So yeah, that's me there. I'm part of the go-to-market team here at Slack India. Been in the company for over a year now, and my role mostly revolves around increasing the user base and adding revenue to the different teams that we have here in at Slack. And before we dive into how Slack is kind of redefining the productivity space, right? How it's making companies more productive out there. I think we really need to take a step back and understand how our work has evolved over time. And I think when COVID hit us, that was kind of like the inflection point where a lot of companies realized that the way we were working, I think it needs to change. It needs to be a lot of asynchronous rather than the way we were working in a synchronous manner. And some of the problems or some of the ways that work has evolved over time is obviously you had employees that were distributed all over geographies, right? Now, if you're working for a company that has offices in multiple geographies, you have your engineering team in one location, and then you have your product team in some other location. You have your sales team in the US if they're catering to that market. What this means is that not only are your employees distributed in different geographies, but they also operate in different time zones. Now, I don't think so. It's really efficient to work in a synchronous manner if your employees are working in a different time zone, right? So that was one challenge that COVID made us realize. And post that, I think for to have this flexible work, right, to make sure that people from different time zones and geographies and teams have that flexibility in working also requires tools that enable this flexible work, that enable real time communication. And when you look at tools like emails and meetings that we usually have, I think they are kind of linear and they form a very synchronous collaboration out there, which is not really efficient for the kind of work environment we are in currently. And then there were times where I think if let's say if I talk to my uncle who's been in the industry for over 20-25 years now. 10 years back, all you had if you're in the sales team was a CRM and you had a telephone next to you and you had to start making calls. But now think of the sales team in your organization, right? Think of the tools that they have to deal with. I think they have one tool for writing emails. They have contact generation. They have one tool for creating content out there. So it's become more complex, and I think there's a software proliferation out there where every team is dealing with more tools than ever, right? Your design team has 3 4 tools. You have Figma, you have Canva that you have to work with. Your software engineering teams have multiple tools to work with. So I think that as the kind of way the way we are working is becoming more complex, and the number of tools that we have to deal with is also increasing with that complexity. And not everyone will also have access to those tools, right? Let's say you have an organization that reports to the CTO, or you have all your design teams, product teams, and engineering teams collaborating together. One might not have access to Figma, and one might not have access to your Jira tool out there. So it really becomes tough to share this information with cross-functional teams, and the information usually gets siloed in those tools. So those are some of the challenges that we see in the way we are working right now. And this obviously makes managing, finding, and sharing knowledge increasingly difficult. And to tackle this, there obviously has to be a free flowing information. And that is how a lot of companies become agile, right? When you have free flowing information, when you can make better use of that information to operate out there. But again, free flowing information can be quite overwhelming when you are bombarded with different notifications. You see it happening with your WhatsApp groups, right? The family groups that you're part of. It can get quite overwhelming, and it's a very similar sense that we experience in work as well. You have multiple notifications coming from different tools, so many emails out there that you can't categorize and respond to. So there has to be a better way where you can organize this free flowing information and make best use of it. And now, because of the work environment we have, because of the way we are working, it's never been more important for teams to manage and share this information, no matter what form it's in. Maybe the information is lying in a CRM, maybe the information is lying in an email out there, right? Or where it was shared. I think it has to be very flexible for anyone to share that information and collaborate on. And this is the world that we see, right? It's a new day for work. This is the future of work that see we are moving away from linear, which is your emails and meetings, to more efficient and productive. It's not at all about having that synchronous way of working, but how do you make sure you work in a very asynchronous manner, which is through huddles. I mean, I'll talk about all these features, but the idea is to be more efficient and more productive through a asynchronous way of working. Again, we are also moving away from silo to information and alliance. What I mean by siloed is you have all this precious information lying in tools, and not everyone can access and make good use of it. So how do you make sure that all the information is pulled into one platform and made better use, so that you can make better business decisions for your company? And then again, the world is disconnected, right? There has to be a better way you can collaborate, let's say with your partners, with your vendors out there, so that the information, the way of collaboration is real time, it's more engaging and more empowering to the partners that you work with. This is where our platform comes in. Slack is your go-to productivity platform, and it basically starts from being an open extensible platform where you can customize it based on the usage or based on your business environment. And how Slack basically becomes your go-to productivity platform is through three ways. One is it helps you accelerate work with automation. How do we do this? One is we obviously have those pre-built integrations out there. We have 2,600 of them, which, and these are apps that are built in for different teams, right? It could be for design, engineering. We have multiple integrations out there, and all of these are one-click integration. You don't need developer support for this. And then you also have your no code workflows. These are basically no code automations that are natively built in the platform, where you can use to automate redundant processes. Let's say if there's a workflow which needs to get triggered every morning to update your manager regarding something, you can do that rather than be dependent on that one single meeting to update your manager. Let's say your manager can trigger how we do here at Slack is every Monday we have a workflow that gets triggered by our manager, and we basically have to update the tasks that we have and what we are planning to achieve, what are our targets, where are we in the journey. So everything gets updated in a very asynchronous manner, and we don't really have to wait for that meeting to happen. And then again, we also have that capability to develop custom apps. These are apps that you can use to these are apps where you can create FAQ bots, for example, where you can create compliance bots if you're working in the financial industry, which automates and which solves a lot of inefficiency in different processes. When I talk about, let's say, the FAQ bot, let's say you have a customer service team, right? And whenever they get a query, they need a more insight or more insightful answer to help that customer with. They can basically trigger that FAQ bot, and the FAQ bot scans through all the repository that you have on the platform and gives you that answer. So that's how intelligent the platform is. And the second way that Slack becomes your go-to productivity platform is by sharing and searching knowledge, right? One of the crucial elements of our platform is how efficient it is to share, search for information out there. How do we achieve this? You obviously have the concept of channels, and these channels can be either public. But one of the tricks of Slacks and one of the recommendations that I have for all of you here is to make sure all your channels are public. Unless these channels are created for confidential information where only the board of directors or the C level want to discuss. But remaining of the challenge, it's recommended they are public so that the information is searchable. And the various advantages to this, which I'll touch base later. Then there's also the AI powered search. I think one of the habits that we have developed at Slack is before we question someone regarding something, we are told to search for that information so that there that question could already be answered by some teammate or the other. So it's rather better to search first rather than go ask for every single doubt that you have. And then we also have a new feature that Slack has released, which is Canvas, which again I'll touch upon sometime later in my presentation. And then the third way Slack becomes your go-to productivity platform is by connecting and engaging everyone. Now, again, emphasizing on the asynchronous work manner, you have huddles, which are easy, quick conversations that you can have with your colleagues in the company. If I have to correlate this to your work environment, think about the water cooler conversation you used to have with your colleagues, right? You go up to his workspace, tap on his bag, and start speaking about or start getting clarity on a doubt. Similarly, you have huddles, which is very real time in nature, and you can quickly huddle someone rather than scheduling a meeting. And then you also have something called clips, which is again, emphasizing on that asynchronous piece, where you can record your screen and take someone through the project that you're working on or the design that you're working on. I don't have to wait for someone to get on a meeting to explain something, but rather, let's say if I'm working on an account and I have this intel prepared for that account, what I'll usually do is I'll record a clip, which again you can find on your Slack workspace. You walk him through all the intel that I have prepared for the account and send the clip to him. Whenever my account executive wakes up, when he starts working on that account, he can go refer the clip and get all the information he needs. I don't have to be present when that happens. So that's how simple it is. And then you obviously have Slack Connect, which is again a feature which helps you collaborate externally with your partners, your vendors. Now, as a company, you might be collaborating with a lot of design institutes out there, design companies out there, third party design companies out there, or you could be collaborating with your vendors. Slack Connect makes it real time, makes it very seamless to collaborate with them, where you can not only bring your customers, but you can also add your cross functional team members if they're involved in a deal. Yeah. Now, digging deeper into this, again, accelerating work with automation, right? Like I mentioned, 100 applications where your team is working, which you can use to automate a lot of processes for the particular team you're part of. We also have, for example, we have an integration with DocuSign, which basically what it does is you can have that integration. If you need to sign an order form, you can basically trigger that integration, and the CEO or the C level that needs to sign it can take an action right in the platform. No need to open a different tool for it. Then you also have workflows that I mentioned that automate a lot of processes that are built in. Let's say, when was the last time? Like, okay, let me give you a real time example. When I was in my first company, we didn't have Slack then, right? So the tool was pretty new to the geography, so we didn't really use Slack back then. And if I had to apply leave, I had to basically go to a portal, follow up with my manager, input the dates, and you know how tedious it gets, right? It could possibly take a week for you to get a leave approval. But what we usually do at Slack is we have a beautiful integration with Workday, where first I can go to that app which is built in the workspace. I can check how many sick leaves I have, how many annual leaves I have, and based on that, it's a very chat-based interface where I can mention the dates, and basically the app itself asks me question, okay, what is the type of leave that you want to apply to. So it's a very smart and AI powered integration which you can help to reduce the turnaround time for a lot of things. So i so basically, once I apply for the leave, my manager gets the notification right in the platform, and he can see the comments, he can see what type of leave I'm applying for, and basically approve the leave without going to that specific HRMS system. So that's how seamless the automations are in Slack. And then again, you can integrate any business process with low code tools. Let's say you're in the financial space and you need compliance board, and you need to make sure that people follow certain guidelines. You can have bots that get triggered based on the keywords that people use in the platform. So integrations are pretty smart out there and help solve a lot of challenges. And like I said, a lot of amazing apps out there. For design folks, you have Figma, you have Adobe, you have Canva built in, and for productivity folks, you have Notion also as part of the pre-built integration. And then for engineering folks, we have a lot of tools that are used in the CI/CD automation space, right? Tools like Jenkins, GitHub, all of them are available, which can help solve a lot of challenges. And again, share and search knowledge. I think I've spoken in detail regarding this, but you can create unlimited public and private channels by topic. You can create channels by the team you're. Let's say you're starting a new project with a specific client, create a internal channel with that client name, then everything that you do with the client gets organized in that specific channel. You can also have community channels where you can collaborate with your colleagues, or you can get in touch with colleagues who are fans of football, or people who follow F1 who are die-hard fans of a certain club. At Slack we have so many community channels like that, where we get in touch with like-minded folks and get to know each other. So it's a good icebreaker thing that you can use to get in touch with them. You also have Canvas. Again, this is something I'll touch upon later in my presentation, which is basically a whiteboarding tool where you can organize all your information in one space, bring your integrations in, bring your workflows in, and get everything done in one single document. And then you also have the ability to update records. So we have a two-way integration with a lot of tools out there. Let's say if I'm working on a specific deal, right? I don't have to open my CRM. Rather than, what I'll instead do is go to that workflow, trigger the workflow of that specific tool that we have, and add the next step of a specific deal once the deal progresses to the next stage. So it becomes all more efficient to deal with all the tools that we usually go about in a day. And yeah, so talking about the future and what Slack has in store for us, I think ChatGPT has been the talk of the town for, I think, fairly more than 3 months now. I'm pretty sure everyone's been using the tool to answer a lot of questions, get emails drafted by the tool. And we are happy to announce that we do have an integration built in Slack, which is again by OpenAI, the company that has developed the tool. And through this, I think we can use the tool to quickly draft messages. Let's say if I have to invite a certain C-level folk to an event that we are hosting, I can basically input all my event details and ask ChatGPT to draft me an email, and I'll quickly have one draft by the tool. And let's say if I'm running a go to market for a new industry which Slack has no presence in, and we have similar companies in different geographies, I can basically go to that specific channel, ask ChatGPT to summarize the entire conversation or entire discussion that has happened regarding that industry, regarding that customer, and I'll get action points by ChatGPT. So it becomes altogether more simpler for me to get an understanding on what happened in a particular industry or an account. And then you also get up to speed faster on any channel or thread. Like I said, you can ask ChatGPT to summarize a lot of conversations that are happening in a thread, and that helps you achieve a lot of things. Talking about a new tool again, which is Slack Canvas. Again, it's a whiteboarding tool which you can use to create, organize, and share information. I believe, this is already live in a lot of Slack workspaces. You can basically go to any channel, any DM out there, and click on the plus icon, and you'll have that option to create a canvas. And again, you can curate the information that you want. Canvases basically supplement real-time collaboration with a permanent place to gather and organize knowledge for any channel, conversation, or project. Let's say each channel, each DM will have its own canvas that is attached right next to it. And you could basically use this to create FAQ documents. Or let's say you're working on a new project, you need to add relevant team members, you need to add the relevant integration, the relevant approval workflows that you'll use related to the project. All of that can be done in Canvas. And then, like you can see in the GIF, right? This is a project that we are working on together with a lot of folks out there. You can see there's a sales cloud integration, there's a service cloud use cases that are there, and these are all integrations that are available in one space, right? You won't have to go to that app screen to even trigger that integration. You can do that well within Canvas. Canvas also offers real-time editing. You can mention people, you can comment on certain liners so that you get clarity. Let's say if I'm reaching out to certain stakeholders of a company, I can comment next to the stakeholder and add all the action items that I have to take, or all the updates that I have respect to that stakeholder. And if I'm collaborating with my account executive or my solution engineer, he can go to that specific comment, get all the relevant details, and be updated regarding the conversation. And then you also have options to add text and objects. and images, videos onto the canvas so that it's more good looking and it's more efficient to uh, get done anything related to a project out there. Like I mentioned, this slide is basically about how you can gain insights from your apps. Let's say, for example, I'm creating a new canvas for a customer that I'm trying to crack, and all the information related to the customer are added there. All the relevant stakeholders that are working on that deal, the business development rep, the account executive, the solution engineer who's leading the deal, and all the relevant integration. Let's say we have Salesforce as the CRM, so we use the Sales Cloud integration. If your company uses HubSpot, you can use the HubSpot integration as part of the canvas. And we also will create certain workflows that are relevant to the deal. Let's say in any sales deal, you would need approval on a certain discount or a certain code that you want to send to the customer. So we can have that workflow built out and added to the canvas so that everything gets accessed in a single space. You also have, again, options to add any other third party tool that we have from the app directory. This could be Jira, Figma, all of them can be added to the canvas, and you can use that for whatever project you're working on. And again, this is something that all of us can relate to no matter what team we are from. Let's say if we go back to the time while we were getting onboarded to a company, right? There are a few things that we used to do. One is obviously request for corporate phone. Let's say go through the company policy document that we have some FAQs that we would want to understand related to our I don't know, related to our work, related to the team that we're working on. And even if you're in a sales team, you would need to request for a corporate credit card, right? That you can use to travel across while visiting clients and partners out there. What usually would happen is you would basically email your, I don't know, your HR, your IT team and get this done. But in Canvas, you can create a onboarding documents for your company or for your specific team, have all the company policy, have all the company FAQs out there so that your new employees can go through it, get a better sense of what's in store for them, and also add relevant workflows, such as you can see on this GIF. There's a workflow to request mobile phone, there's a workflow to request a corporate credit card, and you can see how simple it is. Click on the workflow, select the device that you want, iOS or Android, see if you want an international plan to travel to different geographies, and done. You send a request, and basically this request gets assigned to the specific help IT channel that's out there, and the IT team will basically send out the phone for you. It's as simple as that. And like I mentioned, you have Canvas available in almost all of the places in on the platform. You will have one Canvas in your DMs as well, where you can log meetings if you're taking those meetings with that specific person that you're DMing. And then you also have Canvas next to the project channels. If you have a channel created for a specific project, create a Canvas out there to make sure you're tracking all the action items related to the project. You can also have a canvas for team channels where, let's say, if it's a marketing team, you add all the relevant marketing FAQs that new joiners need to know, all the marketing resources that people need to quickly access them, and basically all the relevant integrations that you would need to make sure everyone's up to date. And you can also have canvas for help channels. Let's say you need if your I don't know, if your VPN is not working or if you're having trouble logging into a specific tools, you usually have these help channels created by your company. And your companies can also go ahead and create canvas where they can add all these FAQs out there, which can basically help you take that self-serve approach and uh, you know get it answered before you get in touch with someone. So you can have workflows also if you further need help from your specific team out there. And then you have account channels, which is basically what I spoke about earlier, where you can have a canvas for certain account that you're going after. All the relevant details about the account, all the intel that you can capture from different websites can be added to it. And all the relevant integrations like your HubSpot, your Salesforce integrations can be added to it so that the work is more seamless. You don't have to move to different tools or different integrations within Slack for that matter. Everything can happen from Canvas, and it becomes a very structured document for anyone out there. Let's say you have a new employee joining that specific account, right? It's a account that's given to a new employee. He has all the relevant details regarding the account, the history of the conversations that we have had with that specific company, what is the outcome of the meetings that we had. Everything is structured, everything is present on that document. His onboarding becomes faster, and he's up to date on everything that has happened with respect to that account. So that's how simple Canvas makes. Then you also, again, like I mentioned, you can create a craft a project proposal and share with stakeholders. You can share a marketing campaigns. You also have an ability to add more users to it, be it internal, external. You can add them to that specific canvas. You can, again, if you're part of the engineering team, you can manage incidents with run books and summarize findings and stuff. You can also create customer resources for your partners in Slack Connect. Let's say if they need specific email campaigns that they need to run, specific resources or specific content that they need to run, everything can be added to the canvas and be accessible to your partners out there. And coming towards some Slack tips and tricks that I would like to let you all know. One is, please, whenever you're using the platform, first thing you do is organize your sidebar. You have an option to create sections. For example, I'm from the sales team, so I have different sections created. Let's say if I have one-on-one channels with my account executives that I work with, I have a section created. If there is a certain cross functional team that I work with, the product team, the engineering team, I have a separate section created for them. And if I have specific channels for accounts, let's say I have industry specific sections created, whether I'm going after automobile or whether I'm going after BFSI segment. So all of these sections are created so that it's better organized and easy accessible out of all the channels that are out there on the platform. And then you can basically sort, you can try it out on your relevant Slack workspaces. You also have an option to customize notifications, or the frequency at which the you want to receive notifications, whether you need notifications from a certain channel, or whether you want to be part of a channel but you don't want to be notified regarding every message that happens. You can basically customize as per your requirement. And you also have different notification sounds. I think we have a certain hummus sound out there, which I'm not sure if you guys know, but it's pretty fun to test it out. You can go have a look at it. And third one would be, please communicate in public channels. I think the value of Slack is derived through its search feature, right? You For an organization to be efficient, you need to be able to search a lot of information. So Slack basically is your content repository or your knowledge repository. So it helps in a various things. It helps whether you're working on a specific account, you need information, whether a specific new employee wants to get onboarded faster. These are challenges that a lot of companies face. So it's very ideal that you create most of your channels, have most of your channels as public channels, so that the information is searchable. Again, any confidential information that you need to share, whether you need to have a channel, if you're co-founders of the company, or you want to have a channel with your investors that you don't want other employees to search, those can be private. But all the team channels, all the project channel, it's recommended that they are public. Again, fourth point, this is something that we follow in our company. We follow at Slack. You have a question, search first. Try to see if the question has been answered before. Try to see if you find relevant information related to it. And then if you can't find it, well and good, you can go ahead and ask someone. But what this does, it creates a habit of you searching for relevant information. And over the time, you start to realize that you're becoming more efficient in the way you're using the platform. So it kind of builds that it's a habit forming way of going about using Slack. Fifth point, again, grab attention with mentions. If you want a specific person to give importance to a really important task out there, use your mentions to get his attention there. uh, Sixth point would be, again, if you want to organize the information that you're sharing over channel, please use the thread options. Thread will basically organize all the relevant information based on the topic that you're discussing, so that it's not spread out and everything's in one specific location. And then please use the integrations out there. You have integrations with almost all the day-to-day tools that you use. It could be your Google Calendar, for example. I don't go to my calendar tab to set up a meeting. I can basically create an invite right in Slack. I can add all the relevant stakeholders. I can set the timing and send an invite out there. It's that simple. You can also use our integrations with Drive. I don't have to go to a specific document and click on share button, add all the people. If I have to share it with a wider group or people that are part of a channel, copy paste the link there, and the platform, the integration itself will ask you whether you want to give permission to all the people there in the channel. So it's fun to play around with all these integrations. And then you have react to messages with emojis options. I think this is something that is very cultural focused. For example, if my manager sends a message and if I have to acknowledge the message, I basically use the eye emoji so that my manager is aware that okay, I have acknowledged his message and I'm working on that specific problem statement or the specific task that he or she has given me. And if I've completed the task, I basically use the check mark emoji, which will basically tell my manager that whatever task that he or she had given me, that's been done. So emojis can play a very crucial role in how you function. Depends on the culture, on what type of emojis you want. You can go ahead and configure them. You also have an option to create custom emojis out there if you want. So play out and see what you can create with it. And nine, again, set reminders, mark messages, unread, and save important items. What I usually do is, let's say if I have to work on a specific task and if I can't give my time at that specific moment, I will usually set a reminder to that specific message that I've received from a person, and the platform will remind me during the time that I've said. So let's say if I want to work on a specific item after 2 hours, Slack will remind me after 2 hours to give attention to that specific message and work on it. You can also mark messages unread so that you don't miss out on them. You can go back to them and read all your unread messages. And then, yeah, please use Slack Connect with your customer partners and vendors. We still see a lot of people using emails to communicate with them. I think once you start using Slack Connect, you start to realize how real time the communication can be, how faster, how you can enable your customers to respond to you faster. So a lot of challenges can be solved, and the customer experience with your customers, the experience with your customer also gets better when you do it. So yeah, that's about Slack and how it's redefining productivity out there. I know I had a lot to show, and if I have gone too fast, please use the comment section and ask me anything that you have in mind. Would be happy to answer any question out there. Yeah.
That was amazing, Roman. So, I actually, in my personal opinion, so
Hmm.
I use Slack in our company, service company. So we have companies, we have clients and all. So, but landing into this company, before landing into this company, also I use Slack. So Slack was
Hmm.
something excited me. I got interest in Slack. But what you showed today was
Hmm.
something like, I think it's 80% more than what I knew and
Hmm.
how I was using it. So I think it's a lot in Slack, and this event was actually planned to showcase all those things to our audience. That yes, Slack has a lot of potential. Slack has a lot of things what we don't know in general. So today, because of you, I think a lot of people will get to know that what is actually Slack's potential, and
Yeah.
how Slack is collaborating with the future things like the AI and all those things. When you
Yeah, I'm
shared
glad to
about
have helped you, Prashant. I think that's one of the reasons why we have a go-to-market team here in India as well, to work closely with our customers. And through this Slack community initiative, thanks to you, I think we are getting this message out there. Helping more people be more productive, and we are glad that we could be of help.
So
Definitely.
my favorite part was that Chat GPT thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Because, yes, because Chat GPT is something. Because as a designer, I'm feeling that uh, it's actually helping me a lot in my researches and all those things. And
Yeah.
Chat GPT launched, I was thinking about Slack only, Slack, Discord, like this kind of things. Like when this
Hmm.
kind of platform will of AI,
Hmm.
how the integration will be. but very soon after the launch we saw that Slack integrated the chat GPT in their platform, and it's amazing to use that thing.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I also like to let everyone know that it's currently in the, I mean, there's a wait list out there which is by OpenAI and it's in beta phase. So please sign up on the wait list if you need access to ChatGPT for your specific Slack workspace. Yeah.
Yes. Also, Roman, I just want to understand, like you shared a lot of insights
Hmm.
about how Slack is and what is the Slack's potential. Can you share any at least one any real world examples or success stories of any companies that has leveraged Slack to enhance their productivity and their workflows?
Yeah, I think, I wouldn't take names of the companies here, but I think one specific challenge that we have solved for a lot of companies is the onboarding piece, right? uh, think about how long you usually take to get onboarded in a company. I think onboarding is not just devices to you. I mean, getting devices from your IT team or getting access to the tools that you, as part of the, I mean, whatever team you're part of, have to work with. But it's about how quickly you can get on top of the things that are already happening in the company, right? The company is not waiting for you. There's a certain momentum that's already going, and you need to make sure that you get onboarded quickly. I mean, you can't be waiting for a lot of people to help you. I mean, obviously companies have different teams out there, but it's more about how quickly you can self learn and grasp all the information that is present. So I think the onboarding piece is something that Slack has had a major impact on a lot of companies. Then you obviously have a lot of impact, let's say, the engineering piece, right? With the CI/CD automation piece, where you can have all your code reviews within the platform. You can test code within the platform with all the integrations out there with Jenkins, with GitHub. And then you also have certain real life examples, let's say around the sales team, right? How quickly you can close a customer. There's a saying that it takes an entire village to close a sales deal, right? And you can't really achieve that with emails. You don't have that insightful conversation. You can't have that insightful conversation. Even if you do have an invite, I mean, even if you do have a meeting regarding a specific customer, how long can you retain the information? I mean, obviously you can take down the notes, but there has to be information present out there so that you can always go back and refer to. So Slack has helped a lot of companies out there to close deals faster, which basically adds a lot of value to their top line of the company, which is again revenue impacting, right? So these are some of the real life examples that Slack has had a major impact on.
That's amazing. So we have a question from Alex. So Alex is saying that we are a startup developing a Slack plugin. So
Yeah.
does Slack offer startup or developer credits or anything like that?
Yeah, so we do have strategic partnership with a lot of companies out there like Atlassian, Jira, and there's a certain way of I don't know, partnership that we have where we can offer your customers a certain discount. But I mean, it really depends on a few prerequisites out there, whether you have a app in the Slack app directory, or it also depends on the number of customers you have. But I can get back to you on this, Alex. I can Let me take this question down, and I'll reach out to my partnership team and see what can be done.
Yes, and Alex, I put the Roman's LinkedIn on the chat, so you can connect with him on the LinkedIn and
Yeah,
take this forward.
please do that. Please drop me a message today, and I'll keep you posted on this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Roman, I got a very interesting question like
Mm.
about the Slack only. Like, like we see that the future is evolving with a very good pace, a very
Mm.
rapid pace. So, what trends or advancements do you foresee in the realm of productivity tools and the communication platforms? And how do you see these communication platform will play in shaping the future?
All right. No, again, the more complex our work is getting, the more number of tools are coming into the picture. You can see the number of tools for every small task out there. I think we are getting more dependent on tools. And like you said, Chat GPT, right? I think in the future we won't even have we won't even need to write emails out there. You will have all your customer information in one place, and you can basically trigger a workflow, and ChatGPT will basically give you all the insights that you need. I mean, as a sales rep, I basically have to go through different websites, different annual reports out there to form a certain point of view for that customer, right? In the future, I think tools like ChatGPT and with an integration with Slack of that specific tool, the imagination is limitless. You have, let's say, you're targeting a specific customer. I trigger a ChatGPT workflow, and all the information, all the insights from the website is given to me right in the specific channel that I'm working on. So yeah, it's more about how dependent we are on this generation AI tools, and I think a lot of teams are being dependent on it. Like I use it to understand a certain keywords of different industries so that I can better relate to the customer when I'm speaking. So these are some of the areas that can really have an impact on. Yeah.
Great. So yes, a last question from my side. We are on the time. Uh, so can you provide any insight on the any upcoming features or developments within Slack that will further redefine the productivity?
Okay. Any features is this? So we do
Any
have a certain. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can speak about this, but I can just mention it out there, but which is the list feature, right? Let's say with list feature, you can have a project tracker in place for all the tasks so that you can tag relevant people, you can mark them completed. All the project management tools that you used to use, I think a similar feature is coming to Slack soon. I really don't have any more information, or I'm not even sure if I can give out information since it's in beta stage, but we are working towards building something on those lines. So yeah, the Canvas feature, this was a recently launched tool. Prashant, I believe you're in the design team, right? Let's say if you have to write design briefs for a specific UI or UX design that you're working on, please use the Canvas feature. And Alex also, whatever project you're working on, please do that so that all the information is organized in one place. You can add your apps, your relevant workflows onto it. So yeah.
Sure. We will surely try. And I don't know about the other team. I will try to convince them and my audience also here, but I will surely try that because
Yeah.
Slack is something which already, because I've seen Slack growing. When
Hmm.
Slack was a, I think but from like lack of better words, I will say that when Slack was only a chat or messaging platform for the teams, now if you
Yeah.
see Slack has a lot of things, a lot of huge features, the
Yeah.
workflow builder and the plugins and the integrations and now the AI things. So Slack is something which already impressed me, so I will use the features.
Yeah, yeah, I'm really excited to see what you build with it, Prashant. And I think that is something we are working towards also to kind of help people understand that it's not just a messaging tool, right? That's just a basic layer of the maturity curve that we have. You need to use integrations, you need to use workflows to basically realize the value of the platform. And we are always here. I think you have my LinkedIn profile. So all the attendees on this call, if you need any more information, please reach out to me on LinkedIn and I'll make sure to help you out in anything that you want.
Yes. Mm. So Bhavya has a question. Is this version of features for collaborating UX team is paid or free?
We didn't get the UX team part. Bhavya, could you please specify what you mean by UX team?
Bhavya, if you want to talk directly on stage also, if you want to that, then just reply. I will make you on the stage.
Mm. Or if you want, you can get in touch with me on see all these features that you see, Bhavya, the channels, the integrations, the workflows. Again, on the free plan, there are certain limitations. Like for example, on the free plan, you have that 90-day limitation, right? After which your messages start disappearing. You can't really search through your previous messages. Then you have certain restrictions on the integrations. You can't have more than 10 integrations in your free workspace. So these are the limitations that we have for workspaces. But whatever you collaborate on channel, you can create unlimited number of public channels, private channels. None of that is limited by your free plan. And if you have any further questions, please reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I'll help you answer.
Yes. So yes, so I believe we got a lot of information insight from you, Ruman,
Yeah.
today. So thank you so much for your valuable time today, and I hope everyone enjoyed the session and also learned a lot from your experience. Thank you for everyone for joining and making this event successful. And yeah, again, thank you, Ruman, for your
Yeah.
time, your all this information experiences. I
No,
will
the
again
pleasure is mine, Prashant. Yeah, thank you for organizing such a good event. And I think since it's almost end of the week, really grateful that you could take out the time in doing this. And I'm happy that a lot of people joined this, the talk, and really was happy to answer all the interesting questions out there. So yeah.
Yes. So before closing today's event, I will just again mention that we are on a giveaway for Slack swags to the three participants. But the thing is, you have to use Slack Hyderabad and promote this event even after this event on Twitter and LinkedIn. So we are observing the hashtag, and we will surely provide the giveaways. So yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, everyone. Thank you, Roman.
Thanks a lot, Prashant. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
So yeah, thank you everyone. We will be meeting again very soon with some other amazing events like this. And don't forget to share about the event on LinkedIn and Twitter. Slack swags are waiting for you.